Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. My name's Cheri Hardman. I'm your ex-ho, and today's guest is Kate Carlson Carlsen. So sit back, enjoy the episode, and remember the old saying, always a bridesmaid when you're a hoe.
Me? Tell me what looks better, this or that?
Are we at the eye doctor's office? This or
Yeah,
that?
totally. Okay. My name, Kate Carlson Carlsen. My pronouns are she, her. Oh, that was a long list. What was my marital status is complicated, questionable.
And
the rest of the questions?
your sexual orientation and where you're from.
I am from the Northwest, born in Kirkland, Washington, and raised on the east side, pretty much, of Washington, of the north of like the Seattle area, kind of Kirkland area, and Woodinville, and lived here my whole life. And yeah, there was one more question. Look, ADHD.
Your sexual
hello.
orientation.
I would say heterosexual, but I dabble.
Okay.
I'm open.
Okay.
Look, I'm a dabbler.
Okay, when it comes to sex, oh wait, no, we're not there yet. We got to do Marry, Shag, Kill first. So
Ooh,
hang
okay.
on while I go grab that. Boom.
Marry, Shag,
I try to
Kill.
always make it like
I'm excited to find out who you picked for me.
Oriented to the person. So for you, I picked people that have two last names.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
you have to marry one, you have to shag one, you have to kill one. Okay. We have Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh gosh.
And let's just say Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I think I have to kill him because, like, otherwise I'm going to jail. Like, he looks like a baby in this photo.
I know. So we're going by that photo just so we would know who he was. He's much older than that now. So play it however you want.
I had a friend who loved JTT. I think I would shag Daniel Day-Lewis and I'd marry Jeffrey. Because God, that looks like a lot of fun shagging from then on. Ooh, that's like repeated shagging with that man. And that's whoa.
Yeah.
Good Lord, he is all man, isn't he?
He really is.
He is rugged.
I never think about him, but when I looked up the list of people with three names and then I came across him, I'm like, oh yeah, woof woof.
I'll take every one of those names.
All right.
I like a rugged man with a beard.
When it comes to sex, would you rather watch or be watched?
I'd say be watched.
Got that exhibitionist streak?
Probably more so than watching. Yeah, I'm not into porn and things like that. But okay. I'm not a square either. So
right.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, what did your parents or whoever raised you call private parts?
You know, I don't remember. I was raised pretty feral. I was a latchkey kid from 6 weeks old, you know. I had really good dexterity from a young age, getting that key muscle turning. But my mom was really open. She was a single mom and she was very open. I had a sister who was about 10 years older. So we'd find things in her room and then steal them and take them to my mom and she'd explain everything to us. So she was pretty open.
Okay. So was your mom like a single parent like the whole time, or did she get married at some point? Or
she got married when I was about 12. So like the really young years. She almost got married when I was 8 and we moved to California for a little bit. That was interesting, but we moved back. It didn't work out. But so it was like just us women for a while. It was 4 women living, you know, my sisters and my mom. Yeah.
That actually sounds kind of fun, you know.
It was a lot of fun, a lot of dancing. Um, you know the song Do Your Ears Hang Low?
Hmm.
It was Do Your Boobs Hang Low in our
Yeah.
family. Do that one. Yeah. A lot of people grabbing your tits as you're developing, it's a lot of fun. A lot of me too in the house.
um, do you think your mom was a good role model as far as relationships go?
That's difficult because my mom, she she definitely didn't put up with bullshit, which was lovely. That's what happened when we moved to California, and she showed us that, even though you move and pick up and go somewhere, it's okay to change your minds and go back. It's
Right.
okay to make a mistake and move on. So that was really powerful. But she didn't really get us involved in any real intense relationship drama until she thought she was going to be marrying that person. Like
Right.
we just thought, oh, that's mom's friend. We were very naive about it. There was no PDA. There was no, this is my boyfriend, until it was very serious. So she kept us separate to protect us, I think.
Hmm.
It was really, I honor her in that as somebody going back into that world right now in my life and having children. That's something that I take as I move forward in relationships. Like my kids don't need to be a part of that. It just puts them at risk when I'm meeting strangers because nobody's going to be diddling my children. And I'm going
Hmm.
to make sure that
Right.
doesn't happen. And she's for sure protected us in that realm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you think that her role modeling relationships in specifically, how do you think that affected you and how you do your relationships?
I didn't have a lot of role modeling. And then when she did get married to my stepdad, it was really tumultuous. So I didn't have a lot of good
Hmm.
examples, so, I just stuck it out for a long time in my marriage. So thinking that's what you do. Because my parents both were married 3 times.
Yeah.
Um, so I wasn't going to be that. I was going to be like divorce lady. So, I stuck it out, 20 plus years, even when I probably the red flags were there earlier. So
Wow.
maybe not the best role model, right?
We all go through stuff, so who knows,
Right? Yeah, and the shit we see informs the decisions we make, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So not wanting to be a certain thing makes us make decisions, and maybe wanting to be a certain thing should make us make the maybe more informed decisions. I don't know. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
a really reflective time in life.
Yeah. Well, I know
Yeah.
with my ex, we weren't married, but like Noah's dad, we had a very roller coaster off and on, highly passionate and love and hate, just kind of a thing that went on and off for 10 years. And that was a lot. And so to go to the opposite extreme, to have a man who's just always there, always
Steady.
dead. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Is this real? Does this exist? Yeah, I definitely figure that at my age, I don't want to waste a lot of more time in that
mm-hmm,
up and down.
right.
So I'm ready for just either steady or, I don't even mind like hot and cold. It's just when it gets to just being cold all the time and just bleh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
gotta find some joy, some hot sex.
Right. Okay. So when you were growing up, I want to talk about what I call like I hate the way my hair is today, but I didn't have time.
Oh, I think
Every
you
time
look
I look
lovely.
over here, it's like, oh God, I hate it. But I want to talk about your sexual awakening. So I'm talking
Mm,
like when you first realize, like, oh, there's something going on in this world I didn't know about, whether it was feelings in your body or things that you observed or heard. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
yeah, I think we felt well, we were really aware of sex when we were little, like 5 and 6. We found my mom's Joy of Sex book.
Oh.
All the tasteful drawings, pencil
Mm-hmm.
drawings of every position imaginable.
Right.
So, that was something we were very aware of, and the kids would steal it at parties and go look through it. I think as we got older and cable had the fuzzy channels and you'd see little flashes of Skinamax,
Right.
on
Yeah.
it. It's like, what's that? My vagina's twitching. Right? Like something's happening down low.
Mhm.
And then you find the personal, like, oh, this is for my muscles massager, and you
Oh,
realize, oh, I wonder what muscles I can massage.
yeah.
For some reason your brain tells you put it down lower, put it
Yeah.
down lower. And maybe down lower. That
Yeah.
muscle seems sore. And then it was like, oh, game over. That
Uh-huh.
one belongs to me now. I'm stealing that.
Yeah. So how old were you when you had your first orgasm?
Probably like 12, but that was just like with a toy where it was like, oh, I
Hmm.
would
Right.
I would say like 16 when I had a real orgasm, where
Mm.
I was mind blown. Yeah, like what in the world is this about?
Yep.
It's
Um,
pretty great.
I know. I remember my parents had everything you want to know about sex, but were afraid to ask. And there was a little chapter about female masturbation, and so it was like kind of like directions on how to do it. And then I was like, I did have an orgasm. I was 12. I had an orgasm, and I was like, oh, so this is what everybody's been talking about. Like,
Yeah, this is where the
yeah,
party's at. I
yeah,
got nothing. If we brought things to my mom, she would explain it to us. But really, beyond that, it was just friends talking about stuff. It wasn't like she was hiding it from us, but she wasn't necessarily educating us. She was busy being a
right,
single mom
right.
and developing a relationship on her own.
Hmm.
So a lot of it we just kind of had to figure out on our own.
Right. I remember friends like being at a slumber party, and it's like, well, we have two kids in our family, so our parents did it two times.
Yeah. Yeah. I adopted all my kids. So when they were like, when I told them how babies were made, they were little, they were 4 or 5, and I was pretty much telling them how it was done. And they were shocked and they said, "Did you and dad do that?" I said, "No, we adopted."
Yeah.
Never.
Still a virgin. Um, did you have celebrity crushes when you were young?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
What?
mean, John Bon Jovi, his poster was at the foot of my bed.
Mm.
Um, and unfortunately, didn't age well. Michael Jackson's poster was on my ceiling,
Uh,
which ironically it turns out my age group was his demographic for that
yeah.
kind of nonsense. Like, oh, here I am laying in bed at night thinking of Michael Jackson at 8 years old, and he's laying at bed at night thinking of 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
knew?
yeah.
Star-crossed lovers.
Uh, do you remember any like mainstream movies that you watched that had like a love scene or sex scene that you go back to or that really made an impression on you?
9.5 weeks. That was a wild one. That
Mm.
was hot. That movie, that
Yeah.
was with Mickey Rourke, right?
Yeah, that was mine too.
Yeah, that one was pretty hot.
The kitchen scene was good.
Yeah, I liked movies with The Rock, like The Rock, the Rundown, not The Rundown, the one after the Walking Tall. He has a sex scene in that is, I don't mind seeing that. Like, oh, okay, okay, Rock. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super into porn, so it doesn't have to be graphic for me to like
Mm-hmm.
get the eroticism out of it.
Right. Yeah.
I have an imagination.
Well,
I
good.
don't need to see it all.
Okay. So I'll skip the porn question for you because that's what was coming up next. Um, what's your definition of amazing sex?
Ooh, I think when you can just like completely let go and just experience it and not even worry about yourself in the moment. Like
Mm-hmm.
just really get lost in the moment,
Right.
and not, because I think if you're worrying about things, because anything, sex is silly in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded funny, sorry. That's the Beavis and Butthead in me.
Yeah.
It's like, it is silly in the end. I'm such a dork. Um, so when you can just let go and really experience it fully, that's when it's
Right.
amazing. And
Right.
when your partner really knows what they're doing, like there's like, it's really awkward when you're with a partner and they want to move you or something and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to move your body, or they won't talk to you. And you're like, what's happening? Like,
Yeah.
just talk to me here. It gets so confusing. And then you're in your head again. So when
Right.
they just know how to move a body and you
Mm-hmm.
guys are in sync, like, wow, that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
intense. It's pretty
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's dangerous sex
Yeah.
when it's good like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's when it gets
Where they're
dangerous.
like kind of almost reading your mind, you know?
Yeah, that's dangerous sex. It's
Yeah.
too good. Yeah, sometimes it needs to not be that good
Yeah. It's like
for your own safety.
I could always tell when a guy was used to being big women, that there was like
Yeah,
no hesitation in how he handled me. It's like, ooh, that's hot. Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell they find you sexy.
Uh-huh.
You don't feel judged. You feel devoured almost.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
So speaking of that, how is your body image?
Better. It's gotten better. I did lose some weight, so I feel more comfortable in my skin. Um, but it's something I've worked on my whole life. I don't have the
Mm-hmm.
best body image, but um I'm working on it. Like, I'm always a work in progress with that. I remember working on just being able to show my arms and how
Right.
difficult that was. I was a Zumba instructor when I went through that body image issue. And here I am teaching a whole room of people to, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
go out and exercise and not care and dance your brains out and have fun. And I'm concerned about my arms. And I remember wearing a tank top, and we had glass windows all around us. It was a beautiful workout studio, and this track that went around the outside. And these two young guys were walking around the track, and they were standing in the back corner outside talking. And my brain kept saying, "They're looking at your arms and laughing at you." And I'm in my head going, "What the f are you thinking, Kate? You have no idea what those guys are talking about."
Right.
But my brain was telling me, they're looking at your arms. I'm like, why are my arms painted in neon? I'm sitting there having this battle while I teach an entire Zumba class. And at that point I realized, oh, that's insane. I'm going to wear tank tops whenever the hell I want. And
Right.
so that was a big body image moment that I still use as I'm moving forward. Like when I start to get that, because body images are opinion of what other people think of us.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to. We care too much what other people think, when we realize that people don't care what we're doing and who cares what they think of us.
Right.
It's liberating. And so it's a reminder. You always have to remind yourself when you have body image issues to just move that step, and that there are people who care about you, who love your body, who don't care what your body looks like. So I had to just remind myself all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's getting
Right.
better. As you get older, I think it gets better, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well,
Because you just care less. You care
it
less about what
it
other people think
it
about you,
did
maybe.
for me until I got this old, and when everything just goes straight to hell. And you just look at everything and you're like, there's nothing I can do about this, you know. And so,
It's so funny. I feel you on that 100%.
mm-hmm. Because I mean,
Are you talking?
stuff droops, or you notice wrinkles, whatever. But there does come a point when everything just kind of goes at once. Like I have uh, cellulite on my forearms and like crepey skin on my arms now. And it's like,
You're like, what?
yeah, just everything's going to hell real quick.
Yeah, I think of body image, and what's funny is that instantly to me, weight is what comes to my mind. But when you say that, I have been dealing with physical issues, like lots of surgeries, and my hands look different because I've had hand surgeries and left big scars. And then I'm starting to get arthritis and I'm looking at my hands. So in that realm, my body image is like, oh, I'm aging. And it's really
Right.
not, it's happening quicker than I wanted it to. It's time
Mm-hmm.
to start partying harder because I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off, baby.
Exactly. That's what I've been thinking too.
Yeah.
I know I'm married and everything, and I won't cheat on my husband, but I do like to flirt and I'm gonna get some hot young guy to flirt with me here real soon,
Yeah.
just so I know that I can still do it even though I'm old. Um,
Enjoy it, right?
yeah. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten on your naked body?
Um, you're so sexy, I think. That was just kind of in general. I don't like to hear compliments. Like it body image has been an issue.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny. I
yeah,
asked that question.
I'm thinking of some dirty ones. Can you see that wicked smile? I'm like, there have been some. I might keep those ones to myself.
Yeah. Uh, it's funny. I asked the body image question. I used to only ask it to women, and then I realized, why am I not asking the men this? And for the
Oh,
most
that's
part,
interesting.
that was just me and my brain, but it is pretty much women have body image issues. Men, unless they're chunky, do not.
Even then, I mean, men rarely have a problem taking off their shirts,
Uh-huh.
wearing the skimpiest bathing suit, no matter what size they are. I mean,
Uh-huh.
men are definitely like, they look in the mirror and they're posing constantly. It doesn't matter what size they
Right.
are.
Yeah.
Really. They don't, they're not raised with that same pressure. Although I think modern men are dealing with different pressures
Yeah.
than traditional pressures that have been dealt to men.
Hmm.
So I'm not bashing on the men. We love you guys. I love men.
Do you have any sexual regrets?
Oh, it, I think that that's a serious question, right? That gets into a serious realm, and it's hard to call it regrets. I was I was sexually assaulted twice, and one thing I noticed that I did not get help when it happened. I did not get therapy during the process. And the way it kind of manifested was through promiscuity. As a teen, and I would get into situations with men, and I think this is a really good and like for like a good entry into um consent in a different way. I was a wounded teenage girl um who had been violated twice, um once drugged, once my boundaries, and I lost my virginity to rape. And I tried to stop and was not stopped. They did not stop. And then when I was drugged. Um, so I would get into situations where it would start to progress. And instead of like if a guy would start to push a little harder, um, instead of trying to stop him, I would kind of just go along with it. I didn't know how to get out of the situation anymore because it just felt easier to go with it than to get raped again,
Hmm.
you know? And so I look back and there's a lot of situations that I got into that I really didn't want to be, and that I didn't really fully consent, but I never said no. You know, I had to get like pushed a little bit, like they kept going, even though I was like, no, they kind of progressed it. And so that's why I tell my kids now, like make sure it's enthusiastic consent. Like if
Hmm.
you're having to talk somebody into it a little bit, no, don't do
Hmm.
it. If
Right.
they're not trying to rip your clothes off too, just it's
Hmm.
much more fun when it's there, let me tell you.
Right.
And you can walk away knowing that girl's going to look at that, or that person's going to look at that situation in a healthier way, than if they were having to be coerced into the situation a bit. So those are regrets, because in those situations I did end up getting STDs. in my youth, and I believe that's what led to my infertility.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I wasn't able to have children. Now, to call that a full-on regret, I did end up with 4 lovely children. Although the 3 of them are teenagers right now, and but all kids go through
Yeah,
that.
that's real lovely, isn't it?
So hard right now. I don't know how the human race propagates. That's how you know sex is powerful. Because people
Right.
keep doing it even though they have to deal with teenagers. Oh my God. Even knowing the outcome. Oh, they're like, yeah, let's do it.
All right. You have anything left on your sexual bucket list?
No, not really. I've been pretty open. I've tried things,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Maybe I think it's fun to have sex in really interesting places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess I don't know where that would be yet. I would want to be there and oh, this would be a neat place to have sex, you know. Like I've done it in a rainforest. That was kind of cool. Um, I've done it on a beach, not as cool, like in a really cool beach
Hand in the
location in
butt.
Hawaii. Yeah, it wasn't as cool. You know, some of these situations they sound better than they are.
Right.
They're really uncomfortable. Yeah. Very uncomfortable.
So, all right. What's your Instagram?
I believe it's at Kate Carlson Carlsen.
Okay. I'll look it up and put it under your name.
Owen and Ian. That or KCC comedy. I've changed some of them recently.
Okay.
So
Um, this episode will come out like mid-May. Do you have anything
okay.
do you have anything going on right around that time that you want to promote?
I'm going to I'm gonna be do you know the name of the bar in Pasco?
The Grizzly Bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the Grizzly Bear on May 16th.
Okay, cool. Um, all right, so this is my new question that Corinna gave me today. What
Okay.
is your hoe song?
Oh, my host song currently. Ooh, I got a lot of good music on my phone that I listen to frequently. I like a little Megan the Stallion right now and Cardi B. I've been rocking with them for a bit. I still enjoy WAP. I really like Simon Says. That's a fun song. Cardi B just does it for me too. I
Yeah.
like Cardi B. I do. I do, but you know, I've always really liked dirty rap. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I was a Snoop Dogg fan back in the day. Honestly, I was talking about how, my first blowjob went awry because Snoop Dogg really didn't come out until I was like 18, and it was like 16 when I gave my first blowjob that went so wrong because the vernacular was I took it too literal.
Oh.
Yeah, I literally took his dick and went like if that's what you guys like, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's a blowjob. Does it tickle? I was so confused. I was very confused. Luckily, he was sweet and he taught me what I was. He taught me the way in the moment, so I
Uh,
didn't have any more embarrassing moments. But it wasn't until like Snoop Dogg came out in like the early '90s where it was like suck a dick. And before that, it was like blow me, man.
right.
I didn't know what I was doing.
That's
Call it
funny.
a suck job for God's sakes.
Okay, so we are at the end of the question. So now, if you have a funny or interesting or entertaining sex story before we go, I would love to hear one.
Okay, I was actually. It goes to tell you the confidence of a man. Okay. Uh, when I was in my early 20s, I stopped at a sex shop and I picked up a sex toy. And I went by myself. I went in, I picked up a sex toy, I left, I got on my car, and as I'm backing out of the driveway of this sex shop, somebody's waving. And I look in my car, everything's in my car. I'm like, did I leave something on the roof of my car? Everything's here.
Right.
So I just leave. He's not waving at me. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know the guy. I have everything with me. I drive. About 10 minutes later, I see this car kind of flashing their lights at me from behind me. I'm like, oh, like everything's fine. Like they can't be flashing at me. So I just keep driving. This goes on for a good 30 minutes. And I finally pull into a gas station. Like, is my tire about to blow? I'm so confused. I get out, I start looking around my car to see if something's wrong. And this guy in a Subaru who looks like a soccer dad at this point. I'm like in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably 40, balding, beer belly.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out of his car and I think he's going to tell me something's wrong with my car. And he says, "Hi, I saw you back at the sex shop. Do you have a boyfriend?" I was like, "Yes, I have a boyfriend." He's like, "Would you guys be looking for company?"
Wow.
I quickly said no. I jumped in my car. I like skidded out like I'm in some high chase pursuit or something. Because let me tell you, that is hopefully a tale to tell you that is never how you hit on a woman. Okay.
Right.
First thing, don't ever hit on a woman if she's at a sex shop by herself.
Right.
Don't do it. Leave
Right.
her alone. That's a no.
Mm-hmm.
And the confidence of this man to follow me for 30
Follow you.
minutes. I at one point I was like, okay, I was really flattered, to be honest. When you think about it, oh, I'm so flattered. But then when I thought about who it was, I'm like, I'm also a bit insulted that he thinks he could follow me for 30 minutes and I'd say yes. Like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
do I look like that girl? No, I'm not that girl. So that was the last time I went to that sex shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get my shit online. Thanks, Adam and Eve,
Yeah,
for your
for sure.
catalog, your at-home catalog.
All right.
You.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so
I
much, Cheri. I love you to pieces.
I
And
love
I
you too.
feel like I haven't seen you in ages. We live at other ends of the city, so
Well, we'll
we miss
have to
each
get
other a lot.
together. I'll have you bring you on a host show. Have
Well,
fun.
and when I get down to Tacoma, we'll just go get lunch or something.
Okay,
Are you in
sounds good.
Tacoma or like you're
Federal
outside
Way.
of Tacoma?
I'm
Federal
actually
Way. Okay,
federal
so you're
way.
before.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
what?
that's not too bad.
Yeah.
You're before Tacoma, not too bad.
Uh-huh. I am. All right.
Yeah.
Have
All right.
a
Mwah.
good one.
I'm
All
off
right.
to
Bye-bye.
Olympia now.
What?
All right. I'm off to Olympia now.
Oh, yeah. Have fun.
And then Kelso tomorrow. So I'm just all over the state
Yeah.
this week. So yeah. All right. I love you.
All right. I love you too.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful week. Thanks. That was fun. Bye.